Hello, everybody. How's it going? Pretty good, I hope. Have I got? Oh, I don't have one with the mic on it. Well, hello. That's better, and you probably hear me before anyway. But this one just makes it clearer and nicer and all that stuff. Let's see. Probably somebody tomorrow's scattered thunderstorms, shattered thunderstorms, maybe. See what this one says. Well, this one doesn't say much either. Let's see. Wait a minute. It says Minutes with Milo is live. I gotta go. Psych. All right. So I'm back from my trip. You saw my last uh, installment, broadcast, live video. Then you know I was on my way to Peoria, Illinois. I went and I made it back, but I didn't make it back unscathed. So if you're old like me and you spend 8 to 10 hours in a car one way, and you sleep in hotel beds that are probably pretty soft. You don't sleep for long times, you know. Uh, and you get back, your back can be just like screwed up, and mine is screwed up. The only way it gets relief is on sitting down, which is crazy because I think sitting down and riding in the car is what did it to me in the beginning. So I sit fine. I stand. Well, when you're sitting, how's that work? I don't know. I can't make that. Okay, so let's see. Ugh. Let's try this thing. You're sitting like this, and this is where your back is, kind of. Ooh, just sitting like that. Then when you try to stand up, it's supposed to go wee, but it don't. Mine goes, oh, oh, I can't, I can't stand up straight. I can't stand up straight. And there's where I'm at. I can't stand up straight. So I've stretched and I rolled and cracked my back. And it'll be good for a little while. Then if I sit down somewhere, eat, do something like that, I try to get it back up and it's just all back into knots. So, hmm, ibuprofen just kind of takes the little bit of the edge off, not much. So actually, for the first time, I can't remember when I had to come home from work today because I couldn't walk, couldn't stand up really. It was just like a toothache all the time, toothache. So, but I made it there. My daughter got to be in her wedding, and we made it back and had one really horrendous stoppage for like an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half, because of a crash in a construction zone. It was one of those deals where it's like 10 miles between exits, and we were right in the middle. We couldn't go anywhere. So, yep, that put us like an hour behind. But anyway, it wasn't bad, except for the pain and the agony now. But that's the way it works. Getting old. We'll get over it. We'll bounce back. All right, am I back? Oh, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just the way it works. It's the way it works. Let's see. My wife may be still on her Zoom. Maybe that's it, eating up all of our bandwidth. I don't know. So anyway, went to Peoria. Had a Walmart sandwich down next to the river. Hey, Robert. That was the extent of my fun. I went to a Bass Pro Shop down there. I went to a Walmart down there. I was actually doing some shopping. Why? The Walmart? Because I had free time and I needed to find an adapter for my video card so I could plug up both my monitors. Because only one is DVI, the other one is VGA, and this new card doesn't have VGA. So, but it's up, it's running. I can't really tell any difference. I've got an adapter that goes from HDMI to VGA, and then I've got the other one plugged into the DVI digital video. I can't tell any really difference. And one of the reasons I wanted to update it was because I have this game, Apex Legends, that I wanted to play, and it still don't work. Still doesn't work, even because I had my video card was like right on the edge of not working it. So it wasn't working, and it's still not working. So kudos to me. And while I was there in Peoria, I went to a thrift store and found this bad mamma jamma. All right, so this is kind of like a TV trivia game, and we played Trivia Genius version a couple of weeks ago, and it was pretty fun, right? So I thought, well, we'll try that again, and then I saw this, and it said it was for TV. At one point, I'm gonna get the boy band back together, and I'm gonna come up with these what I consider uh, predominant quotable movie lines, and I'm gonna make a list of them, and then I'm gonna get all the guys together, and then I'm gonna read them off and see who can get these movie quotes. And this is kind of along the same line, but I picked this up and started reading these things, and they are some of. I don't know how old this game was. I was trying to look right here to see when it was created in this little pamphlet that came with it, and it's so daggone dim that I can't see it. All rights reserved and protected. Out of Lincoln, Nebraska. It has no date on it, but if you can see these cards, they almost look like they're hand typed. So I had to get it because I couldn't answer two or three of the ones that I looked at because they're, to me, and I've been around a while, they're so obscure that I couldn't answer them. And so I thought, probably not whoever, if anybody joins us besides Robert, Quail might come on later. But we'll learn something. May not know it now, but by golly, by the time this show's over, you will have learned some things that you think, why did I need to know that? I didn't need to know that. And I don't really want to remember all that. But you will, because that's the way you are. You will remember. So, Peoria wasn't a bad place. I took a GPS And if you looked at the picture of the last show, I put a picture of the map. Anyway, the Illinois River runs right through there. And of course, like a lot of places, it was built on a big river. That was back in its early days. That was its main stream of revenue. So the little park that I went to talked about, you know, when it started, they hauled freight on fair on. No, I didn't visit any museums. I could barely get around because they had one bridge closed, and everywhere I went to try to go to, the GPS wanted me to go across that bridge. And in the downtown area, like a lot of downtown areas, they had set up every other street or every third street as one way. So it's kind of hard to navigate when you're trying to you need to go over that way. And you think, oh, I can go up and go around the block, and you can't because it's one way. And then you go up the next block, and it dead ends into, you know, a sports arena. And then you go up another one, and it's the opposite way. And they had a lot of bridges and roads that went down and under the bridge to try to get around the bridge to the other side. It was a nightmare. But they used I don't want barges. There we go. Barges to Chicago and barges to places in Kentucky, to the Mississippi River. They went down to the Mississippi on it. So 116, 163 miles, whatever it was, up and back and around and all that stuff. So pretty interesting. And the place where they built this little park used to be a coal fire electrical plant. And I assume that it was steam generated because they still had the water, some of the concrete where it went into the river, and there were water inlets. And they had built this 3 or 4 circles out on the upside of the river. And in the plaque, it said that those were barriers. They built these round barriers to protect the water inlets from ice flows. So as it was coming down, the ice flows would be coming down the river on that bank. I guess they would nudge up against those round pieces, and it would, kind of force them out, and then they would float out and around where the water inlets were. And then I assume they sucked in water and heated it with coal, made steam, and then that's how they spun the turbines to make the electricity. That's my basic view on coal-fired, electrical plants. But it was dirty, just like any other big river, muddy looking, geese everywhere, pooping everywhere. Yeah. So let's try some of these. Doesn't look like Clell's going to make it tonight, maybe. Who knows? All right, so I didn't even read the rules. I don't know what the rules are. I'm going to read clues. And the way that the gameplay, if you get it like on the first clue, you get 5 points. Second clue is 3 points. The third clue is 1 point. And then it has an exam question. So this one is just kind of I'll just freebie. Okay, so it's a TV, categories TV stars and their real names. And the first clue is he could retrieve anything as Harry Broderick on Salvage 1. All right. So if you don't know what Salvage 1 was, I don't know when it came out, probably late 70s, early 80s maybe, about this dude that built his own rocket and would fly into space and salvage space junk and then come back. Then the next clue is he was Andy Thompson, the headmaster of the private Concord School. No, that makes no sense to me. Then the third clue is he is unforgettable as Sheriff Andy Taylor. So, boom, everybody's wheels, bells, and whistles are going off. And the answer is Andy Griffith. So, that's the way the card game plays. And, there's categories. and then, you get clues. All right, so pay attention, Robert. We don't want to do another one of those. Okay, we're going to go TV comedies. All right, so comedy shows on TV. First clue. Mr. Woodman was an administrator who didn't trust anyone. All right. Mr. Woodman was an administrator who didn't trust anyone. Any guesses? these kill me. All right. Second clue. Robert, I don't know if he's really listening or not. All right. So he says no. Second clue. Boom Boom was the hip black. I'm not making it up. That's the clue. Boom Boom was the hip black. No, still nothing. And the third and last clue is up your nose with a rubber hose. All right? Up your nose with a rubber hose. Now, Robert, I expect you to get it with that one. Up your nose with a rubber hose. It's a TV show and it's a comedy. I'll give you a couple of minutes or seconds. Not a couple of minutes. No, it's a TV show and it didn't involve Chevy Chase. Here, just the first few lines the first couple of words of the intro. Welcome back. Da, 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 da. Welcome back. You gonna guess it? I know you've seen it. Come on. I'll tell you. There you go. Welcome back, Cotter. Yep. I could have said John Travolta was in it. So, welcome back, Cotter, whatever. It was first telecast September the 9th, 1975. All right. Now, as a bonus question, what was the name of the outcasts that he taught? So, Mr. Cotter taught a group of boys, I think there might have been a girl in there, that nobody else wanted. And what did they call them? They had like a nickname for them. If you can think about it. Yep, John Travolta was in it. But do you remember the nickname those guys had? It was kind of like their moniker. Barbarello. Barbarello, I think, was one of the characters. So their nickname was the Sweat Hogs. They called themselves the Sweat Hogs. All right. So that one, I wouldn't think you know, and you might know it, but we're going to skip it because this television series was aired in 1954. That's a little before mine. I'm sure a little before your time. Let's pick us another one. Nope, not going to do that one either. 59. 1959. Now, some of these I recognized as reruns. All right, here we go. It's a TV show, of course, and it's a comedy. So the first clue Speed and Vinny were poker partners. Speed and Vinny were poker partners. I'm going to go ahead and give you the second clue. Cecilia or Cecily and Gwendolyn Pigeon were the nutty neighbors. Let's just go for the third clue. I know the answer and none of them make sense to me. Murray was the big-nosed cop. Any guesses? This one aired in 1970. September 24, 1970 was first telecast. So I'll go ahead and give you the bonus question, and it'll be a clue. I don't think you might get it with this. What were Felix and Oscar's occupation? And they were a photographer and a sports writer, in that order. Come on, Robert, you can do it. You can do it. Come on, mate. There you go. The Odd Couple. Exactly. Now, could you have gotten it before I talked about Oscar and Felix? Did you know any of that other stuff? I mean, you really, to me, you have to be a TV aficionado. And I watched it. I watched those. I remember watching it. I remember sitting down and watching those two guys, and it was funny. But I couldn't answer that. I couldn't get it. All right. Nope. Not going to do it. Yeah, it was a classic. But I mean, they picked some of the most obscure clues, and that's what it's for. That's why you get 5 points for the first one. That's why you get 5 points for the first one. Oh. All right. So even though this one first was telecast in September 24, 1964, you may know it because this is another one of these rerun jobbers. Okay. So the first clue, they lived at 1313 Mockingbird Lane. 1313 Mockingbird Lane. And it's a comedy. It's a comedy show. The next clue. Marilyn was thought to be the homely one or the ugly one. And she was not. There you go. The Monsters. Yep. First telecast, like I said, September 24, 1964. All right. So a bonus. Yes. If they were all that homely. So the bonus question. What was little Eddie's middle name? Don't you cut off on me. What was little Eddie's middle name? Did we make it back? I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, so Wolfgang. All right, here's a comedy TV show question or clues. I'm just going to give you the three because it's going to be hard. In fact, I'll probably just tell you. Shirley was a waitress at Rob's soda shop. She was a waitress at Rob's soda shop. Roger, or Raj for short, dreamed of being a writer. Raj dreamed of being a writer. Rerun was a happy-go-lucky, overweight dancer. Now, Rerun was the only thing that made sense to me. It kind of rung a little bit of a bell, but it still didn't give me the TV show this was. And it was first telecast in August the 5th, 1976. Any guesses? Laverne and Shirley? Nope. What's happening? What's happening? And I remember that, but just vaguely. Just vaguely. Let's look at this one. Oh, here we go. First telecast, September 16th, 1972. It's a drama. Inspector Steve Keller left the force to become a teacher. Investigator Dan Robbins replaced Steve Keller. Detective Lieutenant Mike Stone was a veteran cop in the Bay Area. Any idea? Any idea? Are you thinking about it? Any ideas? All right, time's up. The Streets of San Francisco. Did you ever watch that one? Streets of San Francisco. All right, so now this is an actor's real name. So TV stars, their real name, or his real name. He was Joe Foster, cop on a beat. He almost grew gills as Mike Nelson on Sea Hunt. In the world of paper dolls, he is king of the hill as Grant. So he was Joe Forster, a cop on the beat. He also almost grew gills as Mike Nelson on Sea Hunt. In the world of paper dolls, he is the king of the hill as Grant. And that's supposed to be the best clue. I don't know. What's the actor's real name? Anything coming to you? Anything? Anything at all? Lloyd Bridges. Lloyd Bridges. See, I told you. I know you probably missed the first part of it because you were fashionably late. But I said at the beginning, may not get any of these right, but you'll learn something. And you don't need to know it, but you'll learn it. You've learned something already. I know you have. So now this is another actor real name. And this one and another one. We'll call it a night. Lucky that this thing's still going. Yeah. Listen, I said, you looked it up. Come on, man. I'll give you the answer. Sooner or later, I'll give it to you. Okay. So another one. And you might get this one. He was the MC on the daytime show, Who Do You Trust? I don't know what year that was, but there was a daytime show, Who Do You Trust? All right. Next clue. His production company is the force behind Late Night with David Letterman. Of course, that's not still going, but you know. And then the last one, on October the 7th, October the 2nd, 1962, he became the host of The Tonight Show. What is this guy's real name? And he used his real name. I know you know that. 1962. I wonder if there's an MC before that. Yep, Johnny Carson. I wonder if there was another. Was the show something before him? Wasn't there somebody else that did it before Carson? All right. Let's see. Let's see. Who was the first host of The Tonight Show? Steve Allen was the first host of The Tonight Show, and he was largely responsible for developing the late night TV format, the cross between a talk show and a variety program. All right. The second host, the second host of The Tonight Show was Jack Paar. Oh, here we go. So, the show had been hosted by 6 comedians. Steve Allen from 54 to 57, Jack Paar from 57 to 62, Johnny Carson from 62 to 92, 30 years, Jay Leno from 92 to 2009, Conan O'Brien from 2009 to 2010, and Jimmy Fallon from 2014 to present. So was there 4 years between 2010 and 2014 that nobody did it? Huh. Now the Ed Sullivan had his own show. All right, one more. Let me pick a decent one here, and then we'll call it a night before I get freaking kicked off here again. Here we go. This first telecast in September the 3rd, 1975. And this led to, dare I say it? No, I won't say it. Anyway, Captain Dobie was hard-nosed but sympathetic. Captain Dobie was hard-nosed but sympathetic. Now, I watched pretty much all of these, and that wouldn't have helped me. Detective Dave had the hottest car on the force. Detective Dave had the hottest car on the force. Might be leading you down the road. All right. This one probably will do it for you. Ken Hutchinson was well educated and easygoing. Ken Hutchinson was well educated and easygoing. We'll make a guess. We'll come up with a guess. I can tell you what the hot car was, and you'll probably get it. A red and white Ford Torino. Starsky and Hutch. Yep. Starsky and Hutch. Hit the periods to help bump it up to the top. Probably was a good idea because I didn't see it. Well, I did, and then I did. All right. So these things go way back. Some of the ones I skipped were like I said, in the late 50s. Because Okay. So here's an example of the ones that I have no idea. Never heard of this. It was first telecast January the 9th, 1967. So, Carter Nash was a police department chemist. Carter Nash invented super juice. Super juice transformed Carter into a superhero wearing baggy red, white, and blue leotards. Captain Nice was the name of that show. And Captain Nice protected the city of Big Town from evil. Woo! Big Town. Who you gonna call? Captain Nice. Who you gonna call? Captain Nice. Alright. So, I didn't pay a lot of money for the game. I know you were worried about that. I'm just like, damn boy, I hope we didn't pay nothing for that game. But look at this. There's this many cards. This many cards. All right. So, Robert, we got to get the boys back together and play memorable quotes from TV or from movies. And I'll come up with a bunch, and we'll get everybody back on. Landon gets his internet up and running. Get him to get a free night. Stop building on campers or whatever. So anyway, thank you, Robert. Don't know if you know, but we're up to 100 subscribers now. Yes. So like, subscribe, turn the bell on. I should have mentioned it at the beginning. It helps us out. Leave a comment. Tell me how bad you hate it, how bad you love it. And, pass it on. Follow me on all the, not going to do it. Not going to play at those places. Rough crowd, tough crowd. Yeah. Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. What else have I got? Reddit. I'm on Reddit. And I did Snapchat, but forget that. Follow me on those platforms. And, of course, YouTube. And look for the new podcasts because I'm putting it up. Anyway, thanks for coming. Bye-bye.